I think social media is a big piece, but I also think smartphones are an even bigger piece. Like, I think this phone is the biggest distraction to humans, like, hands down. Like, if you look at your, like, phone usage, like, how much time people spend staring at that screen, and then you go to a party and see, and everybody's on their phone, either looking at their phone or, you know, taking a video for something that's on their phone. You know what I mean? It's like they're so distracted.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed over the past couple of days even is, like, the amount of times I go in just to, like, look at Instagram, but I can't even fucking log in right now because I'm banned, which hopefully is not going to happen by the time this comes out. I hope it gets reversed somehow. But anyways, like, I'm more checking myself, like, oh shit, you've tried to check it like 7 times and you can't even get in. Yeah. You know? You're just going to your phone for, like, no reason. And you would have ended up burying, like, a half hour on the toilet, like, going through shit if you made it in there.
No, I mean, I really noticed it when I made a bet with my buddy Bill. We did, for every hour that we did, I think we gave ourselves 35 hours a week. I believe it was like 5 hours a day was what we allowed ourselves. And for every hour that we went beyond that, it was a $10,000 penalty.
And that sounds so reasonable.
Like, he paid me over $1 million, like, in a month. So it was, like, so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was funny because you don't realize, like, how much time you're on there just by default, you know, whether it's checking emails and all this shit. And then, you know, just like what a life drain that is. And then also there's, like, the blue light thing, there's the sleep, there's, like, all sorts of negative implications from it.
It's really hard to not look at it before going to bed.
It is, dude, because it's so much stimulus and it's right there, your fingerprint. I truly believe that that's one of the reasons why people have anxiety today, so much more so. It's like so much more prevalent today is because you're so overstimulated that, like, when you don't have your phone and you don't have this massive stimulation, it's almost like your brain's, like, going, but there's not enough stimulus to, like, satisfy it.
Yeah, like, the fact that TikTok has blown up to the degree it has, I think, just shows how disconnected people are with real shit now, where they can literally only have an attention span the length of, like, a 5-second clip. And it's just, like, mindlessly zombie scrolling through this, like, feed that's just, like, the most viral shit for 5 seconds. And anything more than that is too much of, like, a time suck for my brain to even, like, adhere to it.
We saw it when I would do my videos for Instagram. If you didn't catch somebody in the first 3 seconds, that was it. So, like, you know, a lot of these guys would, like, want to do these videos, like, you know, cinematography where it's like the build up. And I'm like, no, dude, first 3 seconds, you have to hook them or you lose them. And you would see it in the engagement. Cause I posted, like, you know, some badass videos, like, really cool, where, like, you know, wake surfing and a bunch of hot chicks and all this fun stuff. And, like, only got 8 million views because the first few seconds were, like, more like panoramic kind of shots versus, like, 42 million views for something that, like, catches you right off, you know? And it's like, it's, you know, fucking 5x. I mean, it's a, you know, big difference. So
what do you do when you're trying to focus? Like, you're writing your book and you have your phone blowing up, probably. You put it on airplane mode and, like, chuck it across the room?
That's a good question. When I was doing the book, I was very fortunate because of the, you know, the whole fucking pandemic bullshit. So because of that, there wasn't quite as much going on. And then I got a girlfriend at the time too. So I, like, cut off a lot of girls, which kind of fucked me a little bit because, like, I had a huge rotation and I pissed.
But maintaining that, could you have even wrote your fucking book?
No, definitely not. But, like, the fact that I just, like, fully cut them pissed them off. So, like, because usually you kind of like can get back or whatever.
I feel like it's more people really think that the rotation is such, like, a amazing, like, it can be great to have options, of course, but I mean, like, if you're maintaining the volume you did, I don't like, on paper it sounds great to the average guy who's like, oh my god, so many hot chicks, like, so much variety, so much options, I just fuck all day. But it's like, that's the point. You're doing, like, so much fucking and so much, like, texting and so much whatever. Like, how do you even progress in, like, entrepreneurial stuff?
It's precisely it, dude. Like it's just a fucking massive drain of your time and energy, and it's not worth it.
In business, when you're single, it's like a full-time job doing that. Like,
dude, people don't realize how much time they actually spend trying to attract the opposite sex or fuck the opposite. It's like a fucking massively disproportionate amount of time. And so to me, it's like, man, I think the answer is just to, like, not need it and be happy on your own. Because, like, for me, I did it because it set me up to where, like, I had so many options that I didn't care. And because I didn't care, I never got attached to any girls. And B, I was able to get so many more girls because of that attitude. But it wasn't worth it. And I think you can achieve the same thing by just not needing it.
Yeah.
Because that's really like at the end of the day, what you do, like the big rotation for is to like make it so you really truly don't fucking need it.
Yeah.
But like you can do that by just like reducing the amount of sex that you like perceive that you need to have.
Yeah. For me, the most I ever progressed was in 2020, around maybe similar to you and to a lower extent, but I had a long-term relationship I was in for 2.5 years. It wasn't a rotation, but like I was like dialed in with something that was cemented, and you know, that infrastructure is great because you can actually progress in business quite well when you have like one chick at your side. You don't have to worry about a ton of stuff. Not for everyone, but anyway, so that ended up that was a breakup that happened for me back in like June 2020, and at that point I was like, there was so much shit going on, and at the time you couldn't even like go on a date because where I lived there was like everything was shut down and you were supposed to be stuck in your house.
Yeah.
To a point where I was like, okay, I know how much my time puts out when I put into work, like what my ROI is like. I'm just gonna like disproportionately work my face off and not fuck for like whenever the shit, you know, lets up.
Yeah.
That was what I was gonna do. I ended up grinding for like 9 months straight and I didn't fuck once.
Yeah,
And then
it's super productive.
But you know, I feel like you can only do that though and get away with it knowing that when you get back into it, you're so like disproportionately leveraged compared to like your competition that you can just get right back into whatever you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you know the options are there when you pull the trigger.
Well, I think also like you know that you don't need it if you can go 9 months. Like I was like a full blown sex addict, so I didn't even know if I could do it. Like I kicked a lot of addictions when I was writing that book, which was good for me mentally.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, man, if I didn't fuck 3 different girls a day, I felt like, man, you fucking loser. Like, what's going on? Like, it was just like, that was my like minimum. That was like my benchmark. It's like, you know, you're 5 meals a day. It was like, fuck 3 times. Like, so, but the amount of time I just wasted, man.
No,
and that's,
like I'm shocked you got anything done, dude. That's fucking insane.
yeah, fuck.
Because that's like your energy level at the start of the day. You have a certain amount of allocation too. Like when I work out, I lose maybe like 30% of my mental capacity from like the investment into the workout.
I noticed that
fucking
in the
a
book
chick,
writing.
that's probably like 10 to 15%. I feel like that I can't then put into something.
And especially for me, since I had to get high before I had sex most of the time to like really enjoy it, you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why, but for me, like when I'm high, the sex feels so much better.
That's what I was going to ask about too, because it's like weed is seen as like the counterproductive, like literally to productivity drug that like dulls you and makes you a bit more like complacent, not, you know, your drive is dulled quite significantly to a point that you're just kind of like satisfied. Your serotonin maybe is higher and you're just like chilling versus the guys who are like on stimulants or like more like sympathetically driven and don't use things like weed. They're more like, you know, get up and go and like get shit done. You found that you still needed to like, what is your opinion on that in general?